Adam and I played together just with another friend. We didn't play any live gigs or anything, but it was just once again an opportunity for us to get together, and we just covered songs. We just covered some songs of bands we really enjoyed. Just feel out our chops and just have a good time. It was more beer drinking than playing music, but it was important that we did play some music along with the beer drinking.
This all came about when I moved back to Thunder Bay about 8 years ago, and made it a real priority to reconnect with Ken and kind of go into like a songwriting venture with him. I knew him from other bands way back when, and we shared kind of a commonality of playing music, and we really wanted to try and write something together.
I am well, I guess you could say maybe the primary songwriter. The guys might disagree. But I brought a lot of the songs forward initially, so I'm a songwriter, singer, and the rhythm guitar player.
I play guitar primarily, but in this project I've been kind of wearing a lot of hats. So I've been playing bass guitar, rhythm guitars, the odd occasional backup vocal, and I'm also pretty heavily involved in the production side, which is the crafting of the song and the recording of the song itself and all its elements.
That what would happen is that we would get together, just him and I, and we'd work on this. We would work out a structuring of a song and do the best we could with what we felt would be right, and then we would try recording it. And I think that's where the bottleneck came in. We're both not experienced at all. Adam's more experienced than I am, but in terms of doing the recording and trying to find capturing the sonics and whatnot of a song and the intricacies of the studio work was not something he was really experienced with. And he mentioned Michael.
Well, I met Adam years ago working with a band that he played in, and we actually recorded all of that stuff in this room. And we kept in touch over the years and kept working on the odd thing here and there.
The name Cage came from, it's actually a play on my nickname, really. My dad used to call me KJ.
Cage has always been Ken's nickname to some extent. His Hotmail address going back 20 years, I think, is KJ Cage. And that's just something that's always stuck with Ken. And we did some research on the name Cage itself, and it had something to do with ninjas, I think.
It seemed like a catchy name as well, very memorable, and very short, so we could use bigger letters.
My musical influence, it's pretty vast, really. I like a lot of artists. I like a lot of the classic.
Alt rock, Brit pop.
Extremely varied.
Your Beatles, your Zeppelins, your Sabbaths, your Hendrix, Clapton. I'm all over the board, though, really, with a lot of that stuff.
Definitely like a late 90s huge influence on what goes on with this band.
A lot of a passion for many different genres of music, but probably primary focus is the classic rock.
Recording a certain type of song with Cage, I would want to listen to stuff that was really off somewhere else.
Normally, Ken or I, and sometimes Mike, but mostly Ken, the lyrics come from something applying specifically to him. We kind of then tie into it ourselves and try and make it a little bit more vague. So to us, there's a definite meaning to the song.
I think we try to write songs that we all can understand. Musically, we try to go places that are a little bit different. We like to think anyways. We're not necessarily radio friendly, so it's not going to really sell albums. That might be a problem.
There's usually some sort of heavy-handed theme to it, but we don't want to be literal about stuff, so we want it to be vague enough that people can kind of have their own impression of the lyrics and have them apply to them personally.
Ken has his really strange, unique way of playing acoustic guitar that is kind of a signature of how we sound. Adam is by far the most versatile guitar player of the three of us, and I'm a drummer who picks up a guitar and makes noises with it and hopes for the best.
Would we be doing this if we did not have the technology that we have now?
In one form or another, the technology's been around. It's just a lot more sophisticated now.
There's no way we would be able to do this 15, 20 years ago at the level that we're doing it. As I explained earlier, that I was in the same studio recording a couple of full-length albums with a prior band, and the cost associated with the equipment back then and compared to how it is now is astronomical.
I think we would still make the music. We would still want to do that. I think a fun part of it, though, now is the idea that we can take advantage of the technology that's out there.
Will we ever play these songs live? That's a really awesome question. I look forward to the day that we can actually have enough material to start playing these songs live. I'm looking really forward to it because they're going to have a lot of different elements to it. We're not obviously going to be able to reproduce what we've done in the studio. There's just too much going on. But from a live element, to have someone playing bass live, someone having a specific guitar line to play live, it's really going to open up the songs, give it a lot of space, but I think it's also going to give it a lot more dynamics.
There is hopes to gig in the future, absolutely. Right now, it's just focusing on the idea of this being a creative outlet. It's just right now, it's just an opportunity for us just to really get together and try to make something.
I don't think there are any foreseeable plans at all to gig.
So when it came time to finishing the album, we had to do something called mastering. And we were looking around a couple of different places to get this done. For fun, I said it as a joke, wouldn't it be neat to get this mastered at Abbey Roads, because we're fans of the Beatles. And so long story short.
I had done a test master using Abbey Road's online mastering service and thought it sounded fantastic.
Mike happened to be going to London, England for his summer holiday around the same time that we were wrapping up our first EP. And he said, for fun, I wonder how much it would cost to actually go there and get this done and sit with somebody in Abbey Road.
And was fortunate enough to work with one of the best mastering engineers in the business. His name is Alex Wharton, super nice guy.
Turns out apparently the guy that did the mastering for our EP is also the same guy who does the mastering for Paul McCartney. So we were in some pretty awesome company.
It was kind of an interesting experience sitting in Abbey Road listening to what we had recorded in this room with one of the top guys in the world and listening to every little noise that we made in this room on $100,000 speakers in a room in one of the top studios in the world.
Making music for me is it's an opportunity to have an outlet. Hobbies are really important in someone's life to maintain sanity, and I feel this is a great way of doing it. And what better way to do it than to do it with a couple of good mates as well.
What I really find amazing about this journey that I've been on with this particular music project is where it started from. This just started as an idea of me and Ken just bashing out some acoustic songs, coming up with a philosophy with how we wanted to create these songs, and then a couple of years later, here we are with a finished product that was mastered at Abbey Roads.
As far as the friendships, that's been an amazing thing. We're all very different people, but we seem to gel incredibly well together.
In terms of the music and everything, well, I think the technology also, we mentioned, talking about earlier about technology, that I guess it almost kind of keeps the dream alive though too. You never know what could happen 5 years from now, and I think it's almost kind of exciting.
Cajun 5 years.
So it's pretty amazing how far we've taken this journey, and I get a sense that this is just the beginning. I think we have a lot more things to do and a lot more things to accomplish with this group of people.
Who knows, right? I guess the dream is, I don't know where I'll be 5 years from now, but I think that's almost the exciting part.